This video is brought to you by The Container Store.
Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. It's the show that is impressed that somebody had the guts to ask the CEO of Taco Bell to become a potato.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark King, CEO of Taco Bell.
Look, we already got CEOs who dress up like Batman and think they're Tony Stark. We might need to chill with this trend before everybody goes Steve Ballmer on us.
Developers.
Dude owns the Clippers, y'all. All right, let's start with some hot takes. So the Rockets took on the Spurs last week, and DeMar DeRozan debuted a Fiesta-themed Nike Kobe 5 Pro Show that uses the team's alternate colors. Man, Compton's finest is coming with the fire right there, and it looks like PJ Tucker had something ready to go as well. It's like these two could have had a proper sneaker battle or something. Yeah, I'm still bitter that never happened. You can't tease something like that and not follow through like a pair of dunks that gets delayed every 2 weeks. South Carolina just revealed that they will be honoring reigning WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson for a statue outside of their arena. Wilson led South Carolina to an NCAA championship in 2017 and was a multiple-time All-American. Oh look, a statue in the South that has a 100% approval rating. It's like we can honor the people who actually deserve it, and you know it's not gonna bite you in the ass like 50 years later. Congratulations to Samsung on discovering the color black. No, really, when they unveiled their latest Galaxy phone, they spent 3 minutes talking about the color black.
When it comes to design, black isn't just a color. It's all colors in one.
I mean, I guess it's cool that the word black is associated with the word strong, fluid, modern, unapologetic, resonant, and unforgettable, but maybe tone it down a little bit there, guys? Take a lesson from Jordan Brand when they discovered the color orange. At least never call your phone shattered anything. Pro tip for anybody who's not looking for spoilers for the upcoming The Batman movie, don't go buying bottles of Mountain Dew because a new flavor coming soon is based on the Riddler and he looks like... Take it from somebody who has a receipt for a case of Halo Infinite Monster energy drinks that will get me double XP eventually. Halo's coming, eventually, I guess. Because we can't have nice things, the grand opening of the Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Japan has been delayed to a later date after Osaka declared a state of emergency at least until February. There's no punchline here, y'all. When it's your turn to get a vaccine, go ahead and do so, because the sooner we all trust the science and get vaccinated, the sooner you can see me trying to get on a plane to Japan and Puma NES kicks and everybody there looks at me weird because the colors are all wrong. I know you're used to seeing your Container Store boxes look like this, red, white, and blue, but check this out. You can get them in black. Container Store is rocking with the black drop front shoe boxes now, and as you can see, I switched out my whole background with the back look. It's a good vibe. They're UV resistant, they have anti-static to keep the dust out and all of that stuff, so if you want to check them out, check down in the description. I have a link to the Container Store. You get them in black, red, white, or blue, but personally, new year, new me, new shoe, boxes, and I'm rocking with black. You get the vibes. Let's get back to the video. Well, look at what we got here. LeBron does his best Steph Curry impersonation, makes $100 in the process, and the NBA goes ahead and makes a super team to beat that. But this is not about my Lakers. This is about the Brooklyn Nets and their newest star, former MVP, and 3-time rating scoring champ James Harden. Sure, it only cost them like most of their depth, their young core of players, and draft picks until Nike decides to retro Kyrie's, but they got a third superstar. And if the NBA has taught us anything this past 50 years, you need superstars to make it to the finals and win the whole thing. Once you get those stars, plural, the supporting cast is the easiest part. Well, it should be the easiest part, but Harden's importance as the third guy cannot be understated. He could easily be the second guy or even the first guy because of Kyrie's ongoing unavailability for undisclosed reasons. If they can't count on Kyrie being on the court for days or weeks or months or years, Harden becomes even more valuable as he reunites with Kevin Durant. But we'll leave the pro basketball analysis to the actual experts and the jokes about Harden's ability to look like sexual chocolate Mark Henry 1 minute and Hall of Pain Mark Henry the next to NBA Twitter. I want to talk about Harden's impact in the sneaker world. For a little over half a decade now, James Harden has been the face, the feet, and the beard of Adidas. Not Adidas basketball, not Adidas Originals, Adidas period. Sure, there's Kanye, but he exists in his own world the same way Michael Jordan is Nike adjacent at this point with Jordan Brand. When it comes to marketing the three stripes, Harden has been front and center worldwide. He's the guy you send to overseas tours to promote the brand, the one who gets the commercials, and the top guy who does collaborations with Allen Iverson. It was supposed to be Derrick Rose, but injuries halted that ascent, so his stardom is basically relegated now to fans of the early 2010s in Asian markets. Donovan Mitchell is still too young for the throne, and Trae Young is just getting started. The only other athlete in the Adidas roster that could conceivably match Harden's star power is Damian Lillard. But he's kind of carved out a niche within the brand that I don't necessarily think he needs to step out of. So it's Harden's unique look, high volume scoring, and very public and very visible lifestyle that netted him $200 million with Adidas. But has it been worth it? Has Harden's signature volumes been a mover in the culture? Harden is to Adidas what LeBron is to Nike, what Steph Curry is to Under Armour, and what LaMelo Ball could be to Puma. Yeah, I said it. And no, I don't want to hear people who just want to troll Adidas and say he never mattered. You don't just hand out $200 million contracts without doing your homework. James Harden has been a top 5 player in the league for almost his entire stay in Houston. But has Harden, Adidas signature athlete, moved enough shoes, socks, shirts, and gear to justify that price tag? Could you do a countdown of the best volumes of Hardens and people would be able to recognize most of the kicks on the list like they would a countdown of Jordans and LeBrons? Let's be honest, I'm gonna say no on that one, as evidenced by the fact that I do a weekly top 5 show on Instagram and we haven't done Hardens yet. 2 years of top 5s, no Hardens. But even if his sneakers haven't broken through in the culture, I don't think we're in danger of seeing the volumes being discontinued like Nike PGs or something like that. Not when he's about to suit up for Brooklyn and be in the biggest media market in the world. But it's gonna be an interesting situation there when you have the top Adidas guy teaming up with 2 top Nike guys. It doesn't happen often that the 3 signature sneaker athletes come together on one team, and it's even rare when it stars on the level of KD, Kyrie, and Harden. Will that ultimately matter on the court? Not really, but it will matter to Adidas if Harden is no longer the unquestioned alpha. Because while Harden is arguably this generation's greatest scorer, KD is another person who could lay claim to that title and has championships to go along with it. And when he's locked in and turning basketball into a game of Street Fighter with dribbling combos and counters, there might not be a more charismatic figure than Kyrie. Harden can also handle the rock with style and efficiency, but Kyrie's on that Ric Flair level. So I'm gonna be curious to see how Adidas adjusts their game now that Harden is in New York City and how they try to build up that beard again. Let me know what you think about Harden's move to Brooklyn and whether or not Adidas can translate this into a win for the brand, or if they will be in the shadows of Nike and the KD Kyrie tandem. All right, and now for a prepared statement from my co-writer. Brooklyn! What up, Brooklyn? 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 Hey, Brooklyn! You can have KD, Kyrie, and Harden. I'm still picking my Lakers over everybody. LeBron is still going strong in year 18 and making side bets and blowout wins. Anthony Davis is cruising right now, getting ready for the playoffs in a few months, and I'm sure we'll pick up somebody on the waiver wire or trade Kuzma for like Bradley Beal or Russell Westbrook or even both. I'm telling you, Chocolate City or any other sucker looking to offload or unload a superstar, Kuz ain't no joke. He's like a five-time MVP waiting to happen. So bring it, Brooklyn, or Beard Style, or whatever you call yourselves these days. We ain't scared. We're going for number 18. And you're like the Clippers East looking to be relevant once. And no, that doesn't mean the Knicks are like the Lakers. You're right. I swear he was like a Clipper fan when they signed Kawhi and PG. Huh. Anyway, this is the Heat Check, where we bring you everything that's dropping this week. So, to no one's surprise, the US release of the dunks we featured last week were all delayed to a later date. We're starting to see a pattern here, Nike. Dunks. First up, we have Hitman 3 on January 20th for $60. It's one of the best games of the previous generation. It's also coming to the PS5 and Xbox Series X. And now the question is, are we getting more Magic briefcase goodness? I sure hope so. We have the Nike PG5 on January 21st. Really? This is the debut colorway? Remember when PGs were announced with fancy events or in NBA 2K or with non-basic colorways that actually generated hype? I'm just saying, this one seems a little weird. We have the Nike Zoom Freak 2 MVP on the 22nd for $120. The 2-time MVP and future Laker in about 5 years gets his MVP kicks, and it's a continuation of the alphabet theme that began with the Zoom Freak 1. Hopefully he'll be collecting future MVP Zoom Freaks in purple and gold. Look, man, I can dream, right? We have the Jordan Delta Mid Storm Blue on January 22nd for $160. So are people gonna care now that the Delta is releasing without a Union cosign? Of course not. But they'd be missing out because Jordan Brand has been killing it the past few years with their non-signature lifestyle releases. We have Virgil Abloh's Icons on January 22nd for $70. Yes, a book makes the heat check. And yes, if you're wondering, these are actually reselling for more than $70 MSRP already. If somebody at Nike can just email me the PDF, I definitely appreciate it. Then we have the women's Air Jordan 4 Starfish on January 22nd for $200. Great news. It's a pair of orange Jordan retros that nobody could possibly shoehorn the shattered backboard nickname without being clowned forever. The bad news, that $200 price tag is a little bit on the high side. Then we have the Curry 8 Flow Like Water on January 22nd for $160. Quick editorial note. Since we have a Curry brand now, we won't be referring to Under Armour anymore with regards to his sneaker releases. Now, if they just take the Band-Aid off and do away with the UA logo in future releases, because I'm really starting to love that Curry logo on its own. Then we have the Adidas Dawn issue number 2 Chinese New Year on January 22nd for $100. It's a little weird to see Donovan Mitchell's signature shoe without a Spider-Man theme, but you know what's not weird? The 1979 episode of the live-action Amazing Spider-Man show where he went to Hong Kong. Sorry, I had to. I've been wanting to throw that into the show for at least a year now. And then we have the Adidas Dame 7 Chinese New Year on January 22nd for $110. This could easily pass as a Portland colorway, but the gold accents and the Chinese symbol for ox, which is celebrated with the Lunar New Year, give Dame Dollars Kicks that extra little pop. Then we have the Air Jordan 5 Low Chinese New Year. This is on January 23rd for $215. The off-white upper, no, not that off-white, features a tearaway upper that reveals a more festive design. Now it's up to you to decide if you're actually going to wear them or just grab an X-Acto knife to get a head start on the process. Is one way necessarily better than the other? Well, it's kind of up to you. I'll let you decide. And then we have my pick of the week, the Nike SB Dunk Low Street Hawker on the 22nd for $110. This homage to Chinese food is no doubt the most desirable sneaker to drop among the Lunar New Year kicks, and it deserves that honor, to be fair. The inspired implementation of popular Chinese dishes on the mismatched kicks proves that SB is consistently one of the most creative departments in all of sneakers, and they deserve all the flowers. I just wish they made more of them. Just make more. And now for a heat check on the second round of the LeBron Vote Back, where fans are picking on the sneakers app what LeBron player exclusive will actually release. The first round was rather contentious, as there was a clear divide between the older sneakerheads and LeBron's fans who saw their favorites get upset in the first round and the younger generation of sleds who think the LeBron 6 is a dumpster fire regardless of the colorway. That's basically the feedback that I saw on Twitter whenever somebody complained about the Stewie Griffins that were sent home early. Even LeBron himself was surprised at some of the results. But regardless, the second round has come and gone, and I think we're starting to get a clearer picture of who our voting block is mostly comprised of. So our final four will consist of the LeBron 9 Gold King's Throne versus the Nike LeBron 3 Glow, while the Nike LeBron 10 Ring Ceremony will face off with the Nike LeBron 9 What The, 3 PEs from his days in Miami, and one of the first LeBron retros ever seen out in the wild. The Gold King's Throne is an alternate version of the Watch the Throne LeBron 9 that was made for Jay-Z and Kanye during their legendary tour for their eponymous album. The Glow 3s will historically, in its own right, has a lot of old Nike Yeezy vibes upon closer inspection. The LeBron 10 Ring Ceremony with the red swoosh was actually worn by James on the court as he celebrated his first championship ring, but the gold swoosh is what's actually being featured on sneakers. And last but not least, we've got the first instance of the What The theme on the LeBron signature line. It's not what I expected, but I think we really are at the point where the young generation considers LeBron's Miami days old school. Man, it's a little hard to take. Personally, I could have come up with a better Final Four than this, but the people have spoken, and we can't and we shouldn't deny them their choice, even if we don't like it. It doesn't sound like something that alludes to real life at all. No, not drawing parallels to other instances where people voted and the results were not to the liking of a certain segment of the population at all. Anyways, I would like to tell you that I have a good idea of how this is going to play out, but if I had to have an educated guess based on previous results, I think we're going to see a final that includes the Gold King's Throne and a hard-fought battle between the Ring Ceremony 10 and the What The 9, both of whom won their first round matchups easily but barely squeaked by in the second round. And a combination of What The Throne and Miami LeBron nostalgia is going to power the Gold King's Throne to a sneakers release that none of us are actually even going to get. And just like last week, I give the LeBron Vote Back idea a perfect 10 Dunkmans out of 10 Dunkmans, but the final four are rather sad 10 death stares at Mario Chambers out of 1,000 bets to Dennis Schroeder. And like I said last week, you never, ever want to go the full Mario Chalmers. All right, it's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. Like the news that Chris Evans has already agreed to reprise his role as Captain America. First of all, hell no. Second of all, okay, fine, but not anytime soon. The MCU has been relatively good about making their stories matter and their deaths count. But if they bring back Evans' Steve Rogers character during Phase 4, when we haven't even established if Falcon and or the Winter Soldier will become the next Cap, that has the potential to ruin a lot of goodwill that the MCU has. What's next? Tony Stark comes back? The upcoming Black Widow teases a way for Scarlett Johansson to come back from the dead? There are so many more stories and characters that Marvel can tap into without having to dredge up the ones that we haven't had a chance to miss badly yet. I'm not saying Evans can't come back in the future. Hell, by keeping him alive after the event of Avengers Endgame, I always figured that he was bound to return at some point, but as a Phase 5 or Phase 6 surprise. Make his decision to travel back in time and lead a normal life mean something first, so that when that day comes and he picks up the shield or Thor's hammer, if that's your kink, I'm not judging, it'll be glorious. Besides, Marvel hasn't given us MCU Miles Morales yet. Do that first, you cowards! Anyway, this week's Hard Pass goes to me and sneaker blogs and mainstream places that cover sneakers. Last week, the rapper Blueface posted a video of his sneaker closet while showing off his latest pickups. So we've got off-white Dunks, Yeezys, and even a new Air Jordan 11 Adapt. I mean, great, right? A popular figure showing off their latest kicks is nothing new. Celebrities being pictured rocking hype sneakers is the new being pictured grabbing Dunkin' Donuts. Shout out to Ben Affleck. But instead of just showing them off and calling it a day, Blueface decides to throw his new kicks against the wall. Imagine being a grown man and throwing a sneaker tantrum. No, really. He just threw them away like a spoiled brat who didn't get the toy they wanted. But judging from the sneakers on the floor and on those shelves, those are just the kicks that the internet wants. It says nothing about his personal taste in sneakers other than his taste is whatever is hot at the moment. Now, if he was making a commentary about sneakers being a fleeting thing and the dangers of consumerism, then I can applaud that. But no, it's just a clout chase. By throwing those sneakers, he gets a reaction. It's no different when you crease a pair of Chunky Dunkies or you eat cereal from a pair of Dior ones. It's just a stunt, and it's not even a funny or creative one at that. So the reaction is what you expect it would be. Sneakerheads are calling him out for not being true to the game. Rap fans have new reason to dislike him outside of being the most allergic to the beat artist since Silk the Shocker. And people who have no idea who he is are going to get involved because racism. And when there is that level of vitriol, that catches the attention of blogs and the social media accounts of mainstream outlets. Soon, we get the reposts that add nothing to the discourse but amplifies the message that if you do something stupid with sneakers, it will get you attention. And when you get that attention, that somehow translates into money from sponsorships and pre-roll ads. Look, I'm all for silliness. I mean, this show thrives on the shenanigans, but as a show, we here at Hard Pass try to bring a balance of the snark and smart. Sometimes we nail what we're trying to accomplish, and other times we end up looking like the same outlets we are critiquing. Believe me, I understand our role in all of this too. This business can be cynical sometimes, and it's easy to fall into the sneaker outrage cycle instead of creating new content that might garner less views but is infinitely more fulfilling. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I want to challenge us, the sneaker media, to be better. We need to generate good and genuine conversations about the state of our culture and how it can be a positive place that gets as excited for New Balances and Under Armours as we do for Dunks. Our content also needs to dig deeper into the weeds to find out why we are so entrenched with trolls and why we give this junk space to thrive. Is it a problem with how our systems are designed to feed us this garbage? Are the algorithms so good at delivering this nonsense to us that we have no choice but to watch? Do we, as content providers and platform holders, have to do a better job of parsing through the noise? Hard Pass wants to ask these questions, and we hope that you'll stick around to find out what we actually discover. Let me know in the comments what you think about how we need to balance covering the worthwhile and the worthless. All right, that's going to do it for the show today. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week, but not before I show you LeBron's reaction when he found out that the Nets acquired James Harden.
James Harden went to the Nets.
Yeah.
So is James KD and Kyrie?
Yeah.
I'm 36. I'm 36. Why is it always everybody versus me? I'm not Thanos. Golly, let's stop throwing the ball.
You heard the man. Stop throwing him the ball. He's 36 for crying out loud. We need him for the finals. Gosh, I'll see you next week. Peace.